Alright. What's up, guys? Got Dave here, and I'm just cruising the GasBike. I don't know if you guys have seen this thing yet. I think I've put out a video on it before, but I'm not sure. I was just cruising to the store, but I felt like taking my good old sweet time. And as you can tell by the top speed on this bike, that's the attitude you've got to be in when you're on this bike. Thank you for driving safely. Yeah, going 24 mile an hour, baby. Some of the rules for these gas bikes, like to actually have one that's legal, like I do, and I actually have a license plate on my gas bike. It's actually registered here in the state of California, and it has to be under 50 cc, so mine is actually technically like 49 cc's, and it can't go any faster than 30 mile an hour on flat ground. That's like another one of the rules, and that's why I've got it geared the way that I've got it. So when I'm just cruising, I'm doing like 25, maybe 26 at the very most, and that works out good because there's a lot of guys around town that have theirs geared like really high, and they'll be going like 50 mile an hour on some of these gas bikes, and they'll get pulled over by the cops, and they'll actually get a speeding ticket because the cops know that you're only allowed to do 30 on flat ground on these bikes. That's how it's got to be geared. And there's like a couple other rules, you know. I think one of the rules is it's got to have pedals, you know, that actually work, you know, like it's got to be, you got to be able to pedal it like a bicycle, which mine, I can do that. And I forget what else. There's like maybe like one other rule, but I forget what it is. And mine is totally legal, and I got it registered like way back when I first built it. The guy at the store that I bought the engine from, I bought the kit from and everything, he goes, hey, he goes, here's the address, and send them like, I think it was $19, because I think I sent them 20 bucks and they sent me back $1. And that's what it costs to get this bike registered, is $19. But the thing is that they were only doing it for like a certain period of time, you know, and like after that, like they had like a cutoff date or something like that. And he's like, you better hurry, you know. He's like, because I don't know when the cutoff date is, and then you won't be able to get your gas bike registered anymore. So I hurry up and did it while I was able to, because I wanted this thing registered, you know, like I wanted it to be fully legal. And it's just one speed with a clutch, and it, like you bump start it, like you pull in the clutch and you start pedaling the bicycle, and then you yell "Burn!" and then it starts, and then to kill the engine, you just slow down, you know, like pull the clutch in, slow down to a stop, and then like let out the clutch and stall it. The biggest difference for me, like with this bike, compared to like a lot of other people that I know that have built these bikes, or people that I've, you know, like seen on blogs and stuff that have built these bikes, they all the people that build these bikes, they run them on like 40 to 1 or 50 to 1, like gas and oil mixture, like people run the chainsaws. You know, like if you have like a chainsaw or a weed eater or a leaf blower, all of those, like you mix the gas like 50 to 1. Like there's barely any oil in the gas. There's just like a little tiny bit of oil in the gas. Where this bike, I actually jetted the carburetor so that it runs off of 32 to 1, just like my dirt bike. So it's got like a lot of oil going through the engine, and I figured that would be a good thing, you know, kind of keep it alive, you know, because the oil is the only thing that keeps a two-stroke going, you know, as far as like the top end, as far as like the piston and the rings. You know, it's like it's got to have a lot of oil. So I didn't think that would be good to have it mixed at like 40 or 50 to 1. You know, like I wanted it mixed at 32. But these engines, if you run them at 32 to 1, they won't run. It's like way too much oil. So I had to rejet it. So it's actually like running way leaner and getting better like fuel economy, but it's actually staying cooler and more lubricated because I've got 32 to 1 gas oil mixture. So it's actually like a really good way that I'm running this bike. Seems like it's working really good. I've got like probably like 2,000 miles on this freaking setup. Seriously. Like I built it like 5 years ago and I've rode it so much, dude. I haven't kept track of the like the hours on the engine or the miles or anything like that, but I guarantee you it's got like at least a couple of thousand miles. I built it 5 years ago, or probably more like 6 years ago, because I didn't even have my motorcycle license when I built this bike. Yeah, I started out, if you look at like the channel art on my main page, you see all those little pictures of motorcycles. And the one on the far left is a little red mini bike. And that's what I started out riding. And I would ride that thing like all around town, like 50 miles on Saturday, and then do like another 50 miles on Sunday. I'd always have my GPS on there, so I knew like what I was doing. You know, like I was putting a ton of miles on that little mini bike. And anytime I'd talk to my friend, he'd shake his head and he'd be like, dude, I can't believe you haven't gotten a ticket for riding that thing around town. You know, because it's not like a registered licensed vehicle. And so I figured, you know what, I should probably get a registered licensed vehicle. And that was the reason why I built this. And I built it probably like 5.5, 6 years ago. But it was so slow and, you know, like so boring. I was like, you know what, I might as well just get my motorcycle license and start riding. And then the next picture, if you'll notice, was my WR250. That was the first motorcycle that I bought. All right. Yo, I actually used the bike rack for it. That's what it looks like. In case I have never shown you before, that's what it looks like. One thing that is unique about this bike, like very unique, is I bought the frame. The actual, I forget what brand it is, like Sky something or other. I'll put it up on the screen. But it's got the gas tank actually built into the frame. And it's got the little pieces to hold the throttle cable and all that. It's actually made for a gas bike. You know, the geometry is actually made to hold the engine. It's got the gas tank. And it's the way to go, in my opinion. And what I did, it comes just bare aluminum, and I installed everything on it, you know, like built the whole bike up, and then I rode it around for probably like, I don't know, like a long time, dude, like months, you know, like quite a while, just to make sure everything was all good. And then once I knew everything was solid and good and everything, then I disassembled it completely, and I took the frame and had the frame powder coated. Now it's white, gloss white, instead of bare aluminum. So I just figured I would make this video about the gas bike and show you what I got. Yet another motorcycle, technically, not really, that you probably didn't know that I had. You're like, dude, how many bikes do I have? So you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you later. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.